Hey, welcome back, everybody. I may be surprised to see me. I said we wouldn't be doing another one of these till mid-July, but I thought it was important to do this one. You'll see why in a moment. In my extemporaneous remarks on Friday's weekly update, I was primarily concerned with communicating that we were not mandating that members of the college community be vaccinated and that individuals can, in good conscience, either accept or decline to be vaccinated. After receiving an email from someone who claimed I misstated the fact about the connection between the vaccine and abortion, I actually went back and listened to it. I listened to the recording, and I found that I did incorrectly state that the vaccines were developed and tested on aborted fetuses. I had meant to say they were developed and tested using fetal cell lines derived from aborted fetuses. So I apologize if that has led in any way to mislead anybody. I apologize for that. But I also, as long as we're doing this, thought it might be helpful then to share with you a statement, which is the moral considerations regarding the new COVID-19 vaccines that came out from the United States Council of Catholic Bishops. I'm not going to read the entire thing to you. If you're interested in it, it's easy to find on the internet, and you certainly can read it full entirety if that's your desire. But I thought I would just pull out a couple of parts of it. I don't think I'm misleading in pulling out these sections. But I'll just read these to you so, again, we get real clarity on this. While some pharmaceutical companies have been working on a vaccine for COVID-19 without using morally compromised cell lines at all others have been using cell lines in either the design and development phase or the production phase or in both. Still others have been making use of morally compromised tests of the vaccine's efficacy. This leads many people who are concerned for the sanctity of human life to ask if it is ethical to accept any of the vaccines that have some connection to abortion. As for the moral responsibility of those who are merely the recipients of the vaccines, the congregation affirms that a serious health danger could justify use of a vaccine which was developed using cell lines of illicit origin, while keeping in mind that everyone has a duty to make known their disagreement and to ask that their healthcare system make other types of vaccines available. There was even a March update to this one by Bishop Rhodes, and it read, "The approval of Johnson & Johnson's COVID-19 vaccine for use in the United States again raises questions about the moral permissibility of using vaccines developed, tested, and/or produced with the help of abortion-derived cell lines. Pfizer and Moderna's vaccines raise concerns because an abortion-derived cell line was used for testing them, but not in their production. The Johnson & Johnson vaccine, however, was developed, tested, and is produced with abortion-derived cell lines, raising additional moral concerns. The Congregation of the Doctrine of the Faith has judged that, quote, when ethically irreproachable COVID-19 vaccines are not available, it is morally acceptable to receive COVID-19 vaccines that have used cell lines from aborted fetuses in their research and production process. However, if one can choose among equally safe and effective COVID-19 vaccines, the vaccine with the least connection to abortion-derived cell lines should be chosen. Therefore, if one has the ability to choose a vaccine, Pfizer or Moderna vaccines should be chosen over the Johnson & Johnson." Towards the end of the document, right before the conclusion, there's a section on a caution against complacency, and I thought this was important to share with you as well. While having ourselves and our families immunized against COVID-19 with the new vaccines is morally permissible and can be an act of self-love and of charity towards others, we must not allow the gravely immoral nature of abortion to be obscured. It is true that one can receive benefits from an evil action in the past without intending that action or approving of it. The association with the evil action that comes with receiving benefits from that evil action, however, can have a corrupting influence on one's perception of the evil action, making it more difficult to recognize it as evil. Experiencing the benefits that have resulted from the evil action, one might become desensitized to the gravely evil nature of that action. One might become complacent about the action and ignore the obligation to do what one can to oppose the evil action. Another consideration is the fact that one's receiving benefits from an evil action might affect how others perceive that original evil action, thereby giving scandal. Others might be less inclined to see that action as evil. They might interpret one's acceptance of benefits from an evil action as an indication that one does not consider the action to be truly evil, which in turn might diminish their sense of urgency of opposing that evil. They also might miss opportunities to do what they can to oppose it. In both cases, a certain complacency about the evil action could be the result. With this in mind, we should be on guard so that the new COVID-19 vaccines do not desensitize us or weaken our determination to oppose the evil of abortion itself and the subsequent use of fetal cells in research. And kind of to conclude this, the National Catholic Bioethics Center had a statement on vaccines, and it read, "Based on guidance provided by the teaching authority of the Church and sound principles of ethics, each person is called to careful, conscientious, and prudential discernment in deciding whether to take any COVID-19 vaccine or not. People should consider many relevant factors in this process of discernment: health vulnerabilities, theirs and those of others at home or at work or in the community, and the issues like the fact that despite their apparent safety and efficacy, all available vaccines are currently administered under an FDA emergency use authorization because the long-term medical risk of these vaccines will be known only in the future. The Congregation for the Doctrine of the Faith's note on COVID-19 vaccines and the foundational ethical principles of informed consent also makes it clear that receiving these vaccines must be voluntary and is not a moral obligation. People who decline a vaccine should not be pressured to violate their conscientious judgments. That is why we are not mandating a vaccine, and that individuals can, in good conscience, either accept or decline to be vaccinated." Thank you for listening.